In life, we are given labels. Female, daughter, friend, student, teenager, performer, weirdo, based on the ways others perceive us and the way we present ourselves. Some are more obvious than others, unlike sexuality. This presentation will explore my struggle and realisation in identifying as a bisexual and the media's representation of it. As a child, sexuality was never taught to me as primary or secondary socialisation because no friends, relatives or even mild acquaintances deterred from the normal heterosexuality, so it was never explained to me until I was old enough to figure it out for myself. Yet it was only homosexuality. In a generation where sexuality was still a touchy subject to talk about, being gay was the only alternative sexuality beginning to be accepted. That meant for anyone who defined their sexuality differently to simply being gay, felt excluded from the society's growing acceptance. Even now, being bi is seen as a transition into other aspects of the LGBT community instead of a standalone sexuality. With all the negative feedback that surrounds being bi, I feel as if it's braver to come out when you're a bisexual because of the negative stereotypes that come with it, and others tell you what you should and shouldn't identify with even within the LGBT community. Such as, it's greedy. Just choose a side. You're doing it for the attention. There's no such thing as a bisexual. If you are bi, you have to like both genders equally. That means you're a slut and want to sleep with everyone that breathes. Though people in society have many different views, I asked a few people some questions on their thoughts of bisexuality and bisexuals themselves.
I've got a fairly close friend who's bisexual, so I don't think that.
For me, I would define that as someone who is attracted to both men and women. But I don't think there necessarily is, or at least less so than there is for like gay people or like gay men or lesbians.
There's certainly a stereotype of kind of butchness, I guess. I think it does really, yeah, quite a lot.
I think probably bisexuals are quite underrepresented in the media.
The easiest way to portray someone as a bisexual is to fit in with that stereotype. So they do that to clearly show that they are bi.
Like they want to do something that's sort of groundbreaking, but I don't think that they do so much that with bisexuality. So I think the media has an impact in that it doesn't represent it that much. I think, like, in general, if someone accepted people for whatever sexuality, they would accept someone who's bisexual. But I think they find it, like, I don't know, I think they're seen as quite hard to understand.
I don't have any issues, I don't see any issues myself.
I think that, in general, like, they're sort of viewed as a part of the gay community, but sort of a lesser part, maybe.
There are certain people who do have issues with it.
In the interviews, we discussed the media's representation of bisexuals, and in my opinion, I believe it's even harder to come out as bi in the media, as you have to face backlash from so-called fans who sometimes even have a horns effect on the celebrities who were open about their sexuality from the start, though some celebrities aren't the best of role models. A role model I look up to who is an open bisexual is Jessie J. Unknown to me at the time that bisexuality existed, I struggled through the days questioning myself and what my core self truly was, as I didn't fit into society's restrictions on what was acceptable, intended to put on a cynical performance when it came to the subject of who my friends fancied and the hottest male celebrities, as I secretly also liked many female celebrities as well, making this part of myself hidden and putting on a mask to hide my true feelings. In an article of a teen magazine, Jessie J stated that she identified as a bisexual as she liked both men and women, not necessarily in equal amounts. She also stated it on TV interviews, not afraid or ashamed to show her core self.
If I like a girl, I like a girl. If I like a guy, I like a guy. Okay? Jessie J is bisexual.
After seeing this, the pieces fell into place. I had finally found who I was and felt like I had self-esteem, one step closer to self-actualization on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now I feel as though I put on a sincere performance when it comes to my sexuality, making it open under the Johari window. I now accept who I am and have no intention to change.